Today's daily news briefing with Governor Lamont took a different tone today, as the majority of the conversation centered around these demonstrations happening in Hartford, as you just saw, and elsewhere around the state. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell is live with the very latest on this. And Matthew, so what did the governor have to say about this?
Yeah, you know, Dennis, these protests are happening in the middle of a health crisis, and balancing the two has been downright impossible, as evidenced here and also around the country. Let's first start, though, with the latest numbers. Hospitalizations, they're down 75% since the peak, which is good. And we do have some hard stats on recoveries now. Overall, 9,559 were hospitalized. Of those, 1,981 died. 7,124 are out of the hospital, while 454 are still in. So in a snapshot, more than a third of the people who checked into a hospital were discharged. Now, back to the protests. There is a big concern amongst doctors that these protests are going to result in a spike in cases because social distancing is not happening, and the governor is concerned about balancing the need for racial equality with the need to also remain vigilant during this pandemic.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about that. That is, a lot of the demonstrations are also happening in cities where the COVID infection rate was highest. Again, it's just ironic that if you're African American, the healthcare disparities are most severe. You're much more likely to get COVID and much more likely to suffer complications. It's brutal. And as I look at the protesters, James, maybe you've seen this as well, I do think most of the people are wearing masks. I hope that's true, and because we got to be able to do two things at the same time: fight for justice and defeat COVID.
Now, coming up at 6, the governor says he heard directly from the president, and their views on how to approach the protests are clashing right now. So what Connecticut's plan is at 6. But for now, live above the newsroom, Matthew Campbell, Channel 3 News.